I want to take a second here to do a very serious video. I do most of my videos. My thing is that my videos are corny, stupid, but every now and then I like to do serious videos. And I've been asked a very serious question a couple of times recently, so I thought I would answer it. That question is, what do I think is going to happen to gun rights if Obama gets reelected? Well, another thing I get asked a lot is if I'm an Obama supporter. I'm not. I've never voted for Obama. But I believe Mitt Romney is like the worst thing that ever could happen to the country because he just epitomizes corporate greed and corporate control. And I'm all for the power of the people and not for the power of the corporations, and I think Romney's against that. I'm not saying Obama is for power of the people, but I'm saying he's not as tightly knit with the large corporate interests that like to dismantle companies and sip profits overseas like Mitt Romney does. So people ask me, that's just my personal political opinions. I mean, I'm not asking you to agree with them, and I'm not forcing them on you, but I'm just telling you what they are because people ask me so often. So I'm kind of a moderate. I'm kind of in the road. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I was a registered Republican for 20-something years, and then I changed to independent. And I lean more towards what I like to think of as a free-thinking radical liberal nowadays. And by radical, I mean that I actually think for myself and I decide issues on the merits of the issues and not on political rhetoric. So it's pretty bad that I have to consider that radical, but today that's a pretty radical idea. So back to the original question of what do I think will happen to gun rights if Obama is reelected? Well, if I had my way, neither of these guys would get elected. But if Obama gets reelected, what will happen to gun rights? I think gun rights will only get stronger in this country. People are talking about, well, what kind of bans will they put on? They might even try to put a ban. I really don't think they will because right now, people say, well, he's in his second term, so he has nothing to lose. Well, he has everything to lose. The candidates are owned by their party. The party is not going to allow him to do anything that would damage the next person to run. So he's not going to be trying anything crazy. So I don't think that's a problem. But the main thing I see happening if Obama gets reelected, Bill Clinton was the best thing that ever happened to gun rights in this country. He just was. Because gun right activism was at a low. People were real apathetic about their Second Amendment rights. Bill Clinton came along. The assault weapons ban came along. Gun sales skyrocketed. That meant money poured into gun companies that were up until now lagging and not doing very well profit-wise. So that meant more money went into the NRA, more money went into political funds for gun rights. So it really did help the gun rights movement. It really reinvigorated people's interest in the Second Amendment and the money flow in the pro-Second Amendment cause. And I see that happening with Obama too, not because of a restriction, because I don't think there's going to be restrictions, but I think a lot of people will get motivated. If Obama is elected again, a lot of gun rights people are going to say, hey, I got to start standing up for my gun rights because now I'm afraid I'm going to lose them. Now don't fool yourself into thinking the right wing wants you to have guns any more than the left wing does. No one in power wants the people under them to be armed because that is a risk to their power. The right wing is just the same. If you want proof of that, look at what happened when the right wing had control of Congress and the presidency for, what, 6 years? Nothing pro-gun really happened. The only real pro-gun victories we've had in the recent years have been in the courts because we fought legally with the Constitution on our side. Now, if Obama gets reelected, I think you're going to see more of that. You're going to see more people utilizing the courts, more people fighting for their rights, more people standing up, more people donating money to Second Amendment causes. So in the end, that's how I see it. And maybe I'm just being optimistic. But in the end, I think that an Obama win could be good for the gun community. It's kind of that whole, a common enemy unites your fronts. Because a lot of the gun community is divided. But when you have a common enemy like Obama, or the left wing, or whatever you want to see as your enemy, whether they are or they aren't, whether they're more of an enemy than the right wing or not is debatable. I don't think they are. But when it's just the perception of them being a common enemy, unites the gun community, makes us stronger, and helps us push through pro-gun legislation.